Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All that time. No one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering. Is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Caveman on the line. HG got the stats.
No filters, no suits, just facts on blast.
He seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman. What did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now.
Marshawn
Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
To the left, got the edge and grind. We break it all
Get it into
down
Smith.
like
What a pass! That's it! Daniel Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
We roar from the base to the backfield floor. No filters, no fake control. We run
Really
plays, we
like
own the
you have one of you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks in the season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on that.
HG on deck, stats loaded and primed. Reading the field.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking one.
Breaking down ball like a heat wave blade.
Oh, let's go! Oh, no. For the did not win this.
We see through the hype. Call out the feed.
So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that. You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
For your
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. It is Tuesday, back with another episode of the Football Frenzy, and it's just Caveman in the house today. But that's all right. I'm going to be going until the going stops today because we still got playoffs to cover. There is a lot of transfer portal action happening right now in college football, as well as the bracket being fully completed. we've got our national championship matchup set. And over in the NFL, Wildcard Weekend was just upon us. Some great games over the weekend and last night. Steelers, man, that offensive line was not able to hold up and kind of just got ran over by those Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. But our divisional round matchups are set for the NFL, and I mean, I'm hyped for that. Broncos getting ready to host the Bills on Saturday, and it'll be that 2:30 p.m. So Denver's got the first game, and I mean, Saturday football, gotta love it, gotta love it. But I'm going to start over on college football because there was not as many games over the weekend. Just had the Peach Bowl and the Verbo Fiesta Bowl between Miami and Ole Miss. And I'm going to go over to this beatdown that Indiana put on Oregon because, wow, dude. I mean, Kurt Signetti was just coaching his butt off in this game. 56-22 win. You're up almost 35-7 at halftime. And this game was out of reach before you could even say that it was really even started. Just dominance in the Peach Bowl. They're undefeated already, and it's been a really impressive march through the playoffs for them. I mean, they've gained so much more momentum on this win too. I mean, how dominant your defense looked in this game. You had 3 first half touchdowns with turnovers. And I mean, you just completely overwhelmed Oregon's offense. I mean, Dante Moore cleaned it up later on in the game, ended up with 2 touchdowns, only the 1 pick, cleaned up his percentage a little bit, but I mean, they were already out of it. Mendoza added on to the onslaught with 5 touchdowns of his own. Kalen Black had 2 on the ground. I mean, this game was just pure and utter dominance from Indiana here. I had a good time watching this one. I mean, you really do have a lot to look forward to with Oregon going forward, man. I mean, you always get a lot of speed. You're able to bring in a lot of new guys in the transfer portal every year by being such a big name school. I mean, they're going to be a top dog in the Big Ten, continuing to move forward here as we go. And I mean, especially if Dante Moore stays one more season with his eligibility to continue playing some college ball. I mean, Dan Lanning and Dante Moore could have one more full offseason working together. I mean, it's going to be sweet. It's going to be something that you couldn't ask for. But is he potentially on the hot seat now, though, after not being able to win so many playoff games? Dan Lanning has never really been able to get this team over the hump. And I mean, we've already got a lot of openings. I feel like they're just going to let it ride out one more season with them. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But on the opposite side of things, man, Indiana is going to be trying to give the Big Ten its 3rd straight national title, following Ohio State and Michigan in the last 2 seasons, obviously. But few teams from any conference are really able to compare with how Indiana's been playing all season long. 15 straight wins. Went through your bye week, took a little break from football, and it didn't really affect them at all. They continue to find ways to just dominate, man. I mean, it's just that simple to say it. There's really no other word to say than that. They just completely, their only goal, Indiana, is just to dominate you. It might turn out to be one of those grinded out games, but their complete goal is just to dismantle your defense. And they're now in their first national title game ever. So, I mean, with this squad, dude, they're complete underdogs all year long. Everybody had written them off. And here they are today. They got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who's probably going to be a very high overall draft pick, considering who's got these number 1 overall picks. Raiders, Jets going to be up there. And we could be seeing maybe the Miami Dolphins go and look for a new quarterback if Tua wants to change the scenery and they don't really know what they want to do with Quinn Ewers. And there's a lot of teams that really could be out in the QB market in this draft that are at least in the top 15. I mean, they're going to be in an away game though, Indiana. They're going on the road in this national championship game. That's the most surprising thing. It's going to be in Miami. So what's really going to happen here? He's going to enjoy homecoming, though. Fernando Mendoza, the hometown kid, coming from Miami. And after having a nearly perfect day, 17 to 20, 5 touchdowns, about 200 some yards. And I mean, he's going to be having a field day. 35-7 at halftime. I mean, they had 9 rushing yards on 17 carries, the Oregon Ducks, who led the NCAA with rushing yards this season with 829. You know, they did lose Jordan Davidson, but in the end of the day, like that's some BS. I think that's some BS. You led the NCAA in rushing yards all season long. The guy who did get a good majority of that chunk was out for this game with the random collarbone injury. I mean, what are we doing? You can't be doing that. This was the game that I really got to watch a lot of, though, was this Miami game. Miami Ole Miss was definitely one to be watched. I mean, if you saw how these offenses were flowing, Ole Miss is without their coach right now and without majority of their coordinators, and they're still looking like a pretty solid offense right now. 27 points, hung around the entire game. You're only down by 4 points going into halftime. I mean, this is a game, the entirety of it. Trinidad Chambliss looked pretty good in this one. Very limited on his mobility, though. That was a very huge game plan for Miami, was just not let him get going. And if they're going to have anything going in the run game, it was going to have to come from Kawan Lacey. And it was not going to be any dual threat from Trinidad Chambliss in this game. They did a great job at that. Only limited him to 5 carries for 7 yards. Had a long of 19. Sack yardage obviously took it off, but still, the defense of Miami did a great job at limiting him in the ground. But in the air, still a dominant performance, I feel like. 23 of 37, 277, and a touchdown. Kawan Lacey on the ground for Ole Miss, 11 carries for 103 and a touchdown. Total team rushing yards was 121. They really kind of abandoned the run in this game, and I don't feel like they should have they got a little bit scared. They got a little bit scared, in my opinion. This game was way too close for them to be trying to just pass through it for the entire game. They had really mixed receiving numbers as well. Like everyone, Stribling had 5 receptions. Caden Lee had 5 receptions. Daquan Wright, 3. Harrison Wallace, the 3rd, 4 receptions. Logan Diggs got a couple. But I feel like if you match the energy of Miami and kind of stuck with a little bit more ball control and went a little bit conservative in this and went with 51 carries instead of 21 like you came out with, you might have had a better result, in my opinion, because Mark Fletcher, much different runner than Kawan Lacey, but these are 2 of the top backs in the NCAA. If anything, this should have came down to a duel between Mark Fletcher and Kawan Lacey, and Miami did a great job at controlling the line of scrimmage and getting a lot of pressures, a lot of tackles for loss. Their defensive line was in the backfield all day long, but man, They just couldn't do it. I lost my freaking words there. Sorry about that, everyone. They just abandoned the run. Only 11 carries for Kwan Lacey. Two of the best backs in the NCAA right now are competing. And you got one's a young rising star who's only a sophomore. I mean, you really have a lot of time because Carson Beck and Chambliss literally had the same exact stats. 23 of 37, 277 to 268 for Carson Beck. And they each had Carson Beck had 2 touchdowns, Chambliss had 1. With the 1 turnover to 0 for Miami, they also won in the penalty battle by a lot, man. 40 extra yards for Miami in the penalty battle. 74 penalty yards for Miami. I feel like this game, Ole Miss let this one slip, man. Ole Miss really, really let this one slip. A lot of their drives came and scored very, very quickly. The time of possession in this game is just really the most interesting part of it. 41 minutes for Miami and only 18 minutes for Ole Miss. And this score was 31 to 27. It feels like Miami should have dominated this football game. It's just that's how explosive the passing offense of Trinidad Chambliss running the show really was. Him and that coach, they're trusting their guys out there and they're letting him make plays in the pocket. Why not trust Lacey? Why not trust Lacey here? In the first half, he had that really long explosive run early in the second quarter to open that up and really make it look like a game. Why not keep feeding the beast? Only 103 yards for Kwan Lacey. I feel like he could have gotten a career day for himself in this Fiesta Bowl. Honestly, I mean, we saw the flashes for the young sophomore. It all came down to one final Hail Mary, though, in the final possession after a pretty masterful drive from Carson Beck to go down and end this game. I mean, from a guy that everybody was really doubting all year long, I mean, here they are in the national championship. Everyone was kind of complaining about Miami being in the playoff, too. I mean, no one really had any thought of that. They wanted to see a team like Notre Dame in above this team, or another ACC team could have made it in. Duke obviously threw a huge wrench into that scenario. So Miami comes in as your 10 seed, and I mean, very deserving. I think it's a very deserving 10 seed because just overall, this team is insane. Their defensive line has pretty much 3 guys that could be considered day 1, day 2 picks in this upcoming draft. Ruben Bain Jr. is an absolute beast on the edge for them. And as an outside linebacker, he is probably going to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick in the draft. And this offseason and playoff for him is only adding to the resume and making him look much, much better. Same with Carson Beck, man. I mean, he's got to work on all the interceptions. I feel like it was his completions and when he was throwing those interceptions, very, very untimely. But overall, it's been a very great season from him. He's top 10 in the NCAA in yards, nearly top 10 in his QB rating. So he's accurate. It's just he has a gunslinger mentality. He does throw interceptions. He does tend to throw picks sometimes because he does like to throw those tight window passes. He likes to get the ball in there. But I think this guy could definitely get some eyes on some NFL scouts from this now. 6'4", 220. And he's got the size and, the speed and everything that a lot of NFL coaches are looking for. That is kind of the mold of a quarterback. You want a guy that can see over the line, good arm, some decent speed now to get out of that pocket and have some good maneuverability in the backfield, or to make a game-winning touchdown run like he did against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, he walked it off. Had nobody open on the pass play, unaccounted for on the scramble, steps up into the pocket and just walks it into the end zone. And Miami moves on to host your national championship for the 2025-26 season. I mean, I couldn't be happier with this matchup. Heisman versus a really, really highly doubted team. Somebody that you wouldn't really expect to be in the national championship this year. Everybody was kind of looking at Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas Tech even, who got blanked by Oregon. This is going to be a fun matchup on the 19th. Indiana currently now 8.5-point favorites, even though it's going to be in Florida, man. I'm happy with this matchup. I really like it. Let me know who you guys think is going to win down in the comments right now. You know, man, I'm going to say it. I know Indiana stacks up as the favorite, and they've been dominating teams all throughout this playoff, but Caveman's picking the Miami Hurricanes right here to win this game. I just kind of have a feeling that they're just going to host it and get the dub. Get this out of here. Got the Discover tab in my face now. Okay, well, all right. I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Cover some more of this news for you guys. We're going to go over the transfer tracker. But this studio has been having just a little bit of technical issues this morning, and it is just me. Hang on with me. Bear with me. But we'll be right back from a quick music break. We got more college football coming right back at you till the final whistle. Stay with us.
I wonder
the station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Alrighty, everyone. You are looking live again at Till the Final Whistle. Caveman back in the house. And let's look at this transfer portal because we got some QBs on the move. Let me look back at this. From day one of the college football transfer portal, there has already been more than 4,500 Division I college football players that have just entered the transfer portal. And I mean, there's already been some insane moves going on. We've seen Brendan Sorsby go from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. He's got one more year of eligibility. He had a great year, 7-1 start at Cincinnati. They were number 17 in the top 25 rank in the AP poll at one point around week 8, week 9. He was third in the Big 12 in as a quarterback in total offense, man. 3,380 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 5 picks. I think if he gets a good season there at Texas Tech, probably could be getting some good first round eyes because he's a 3-year starter at Cincinnati. Going up to Texas Tech, he'll be stepping up to a different echelon maybe. We'll see what happens. They weren't really able to outbid LSU, obviously. That's obviously going to be a better school there to fund, obviously, but he's a Texas native, and I think he can elevate the offense. He's already been a Big 12 starter, so I think he kind of brings that to the table there. I think that's also kind of why he chose to head over to Texas Tech. He's been in the Big 12 3 years. It's not a bad conference at all. Nearly 2 teams made the playoff this year. LSU was not able to land Sorsby, but they did get another visit from Arizona State's Sam Leavitt, who the redshirt sophomore did choose to head over to Louisiana. Man, what a special season that they had in 2024 with Arizona State. I mean, he was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year entering this season, and he wowed everybody as a redshirt freshman. Him and Cam Scadaboo were tearing it up. And, I mean, they upset the freaking Texas Longhorns, and it was an insane game. Quinn Ewers and Archie Manning did not even know what hit him. That defense didn't even know what was coming. It was an insane game last year in that playoff. But he did transfer from Michigan State before, which I did not know. Had 3,328 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 picks, 80 QBR. That's first team all Big 12 there. So that's pretty good for him. I mean, that's a pretty good pickup for them. But this is interesting because the Big 12 has been getting a lot of quarterbacks so far. The last three all Big 12 guys. Except for, LSU, he's leaving. He's leaving the Big 12. But Drew Mestemaker, heading from the American Conference to the Big 12. This guy, as a freshman, led your nation in passing yards this year with 4,379 and 34 touchdowns. Number 1 scoring offense in college football, by the way. It was North Texas. The Mean Green was the number 1 scoring offense this year. They were absolutely electric. Mestemaker was also the conference player of the year in the American. So got a conference title game, school record 12 wins as well. So he had a really insane year. Mike Gundy fired. We got a new head coach over at Oklahoma State. Could be seeing a new era there for the next 3 years, next 2-3 years with Drew Mestemaker over there. I mean, he's got real good control of the offense when he gets comfortable. I think he did it. He fell into place really quickly at North Texas, and him and that offense was just non-negotiable, was obviously one of the best in the country. I mean, I wish they had the chance to play a few more of those top tier teams every season outside their conference. Some teams that were a little bit tougher on their schedule, just to kind of see how those guys and how that team would just shake up against those squads. But he knows how to climb the pocket and keep his eyes up. He's really good. He's really good. He's got some interesting mechanics and delivery, but the end result is always positive. And I mean, it was a very QB friendly scheme at North Texas. So him not being a runner, being more of a pocket passing guy, I mean, he could probably fit in at Oklahoma State. It was more in the past few years been more of a run heavy offense where the quarterback play hasn't really mattered. So I mean, we could be really seeing a new era in Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy's gone, dude. This is gonna be cool. Keep your eyes on them for next season, and I'm sure to might have to go take a look at what the rest of their transfer tracker is looking like. This is also very interesting. The redshirt junior going into his senior year, Byram Brown, the senior from South Florida. Oh man, this is going to be insane. He is transferring to Auburn. He led the FBS in all the FBS quarterbacks in total touchdowns, 42, number 1 QBR, and was just top group of 5 starter this season with South Florida. The offense averaged 43 points in the season, 4th most nationally. I mean, that's college football. Teams are scoring a lot of points, but in the top 5 in the nation. I mean, they're pretty dominant this year. They just had an unfortunate fall off. Hey, what up, Charles? How you doing, man? Who you got in the college football playoffs? Do you go in Miami or Indiana? I'm going with Miami. This guy's pretty good, though. Byron Brown, man, enjoyed a pretty prolific run there. Coach Alex Golish really made a good case for this guy to be, really solid. 9,000 total yards for USF this year and 92 touchdowns. This guy's really good on the move, and he's just got a huge frame. So, I mean, we're really looking at a little mini Cam Newton transferring over to Auburn right now. He's bringing a lot to the table. He's got really nice power and speed. So, I mean, this guy's going to be awesome. Now for next season, Indiana, win or lose this national championship, you're already loaded up with a 3-year starting quarterback in the Big 12 with Josh Huber from TCU. And this guy was a dark horse pick to be in your Heisman talk at the beginning of the year. Top dark horse pick to maybe for TCU to go on a run, and for this guy to be Big 12 Player of the Year. I mean, in his total career, 9,000 passing yards, 71 passing touchdowns. That is pretty good in the Big 12, especially returning in 2026. He got the single season passing record in 2024 with 3,949 yards in that season. So I like this guy. We'll see what pans out for him over at Indiana. It's obviously going to be either him or Fernando Mendoza's little brother who will be entering his sophomore season. But I feel like you might as well just give the younger Mendoza a little bit of time to develop under these two, highly touted quarterbacks in their conference. And the youngest Mendoza brother could potentially be an NFL draft pick one day. I think that the coaching there is going to be perfect. It's really QB friendly system because they run the ball a lot. And I mean, your quarterback's only going to have to throw 20 passes a game like Fernando Mendoza was doing. And they won 56-22 against Oregon. And he only threw 20 passes. Five passing touchdowns, though, but didn't even get 200 yards. It's going to make things interesting, though, because Josh Hoover did really get in the driver's seat of an offense at TCU where you could just sling it. and he's had a pretty good percentage while being able to just kind of chuck in, duck it 65% in his career so far. Started all 3 seasons in the Big 12. So if he cuts down on those turnovers, which definitely Kurt Signetti will teach him how to get rid of that. I mean, he's going into one of the best coaching systems right now in college football. So you are looking at something for the future right now. So 5 quarterbacks in Kurt Signetti's staff. Just from Kurt Signetti and his staff alone, all those guys and gals have coached 5 quarterbacks who've earned a Conference Player of the Year or been in the honors for that since 2019. So, Josh Hoover, you really just have your chance to be the next in line here. Indiana's taking a chance. They think you're the guy, dude. I mean, you got 1 year left. If you want to make it to the league, I think Indiana's pretty good chance for you. Real good chance for you. Rocco Becht going to Penn State. They hired Iowa State's head coach. They picked up their running back, a couple offensive line guys, and I kept scrolling down the transfer tracker last week, and they picked up Rocco Becht, man. Going into his senior year, he's pretty much the most experienced guy that's going to be returning after playing all those years at Iowa State. He's got 39 games. He's been playing for a while. Excuse me. He had a pretty up and down year in 2025, but his coach definitely trusts him to make the same moves over in Happy Valley. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what goes on over there. No more James Franklin. Is old Penn State gonna be forgotten about in the Big Ten? Are they gonna be one of those teams that you kind of look over the year? I don't think so, because it is going to be a big school, and they just got a great recruiting head coach from Iowa State who's going to lock it down for them. So I'm going to go and say that they probably have a pretty decent season next year. Just because of the chemistry. And they might build something for the future over there. Want some guys coming in. This one is, I'm not really too worried about at all. With 2 years remaining, good old Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes Jr. is transferring over to Oregon, man. And this is, yeah. He was already supposed to recruit to Georgia in 2023 and pretty much just flipped out of nowhere when Matt Rule told him, hey, man, you'll be the instant starter right away as a true freshman. He did lead the FBS in freshman and, broke all the program's records, but he didn't even get over 3,000 yards last year. And it might have been Nebraska's first bowl game since 2016. This might actually be better for his career to get out of Nebraska. What? Actually, this is something I am worried about now. This might just be something for Dylan Raiola, just better for his college football career. Because the amount of hype that he got and the amount of hype that Nebraska got just because of him also led to a lot of hate on this guy. Like, he was just getting hate watched. People were watching his warm-up routine and just hating him because he's copying Patrick Mahomes, which was part of the reason I'm not really worried about this transfer at all. But if Dante Moore don't stay in town over in Autzen, this guy right here might be something to look at, where him and Dan Lanning might be able to, lose in the third round of playoffs for like the third year in a row. He's got 2 years on of eligibility, so we'll see what happens there. DJ Lagway has fully now completed the transfer to Baylor. He didn't pick a school fully, but like everyone in his family and him had like posted all the photos and stuff from the visit to Baylor, so it kind of seemed like he was gonna head over there. A lot of quarterbacks are going to the Big 12, and I like it, man. Baylor had such an explosive offense last year. You put this guy with his dual threat ability, the young sophomore, in a great position to just sling it. He put up 4,000 passing yards, 200 rushing yards, 29 touchdowns in his career at Florida. I feel like you can get that in a full season if you keep this guy healthy. The great offensive line. Baylor definitely had a pretty solid O-line this year. I mean, he's had so many injuries. I think this is a good opportunity for him to move on and get a fresh start because he's had a rough start to his career. 10-9 total record at Florida. It was the end of the Billy Napier days, and they just couldn't get nothing going. They just couldn't get anything going. I'm really excited to see where this guy goes. Got QBR ranked 15th in the SEC right now as starters. I mean, with that, you could easily cut that down if you get this guy a good roster and some good coaching. Easily. Got the verbal commitment. His dad was actually a running back there. I didn't even know that DJ Lagway's dad played college football. But alma mater program, and a major need, the QB1. Sawyer Robertson's going to be graduating, either going to the NFL, could be one of those late round draft picks because he was the nation's second leading passer this year, Sawyer Robertson. But Baylor was in desperate need for some QB1 help. And this is definitely something to get Baylor, DJ Lagway, and that entire program back in the mix with just a little bit of development. The right development after a real rough year in Florida for DJ Lagway, and I think he'll cut down on those turnovers and he'll cut down on the injury. He'll be healthier. He'll be ready to go. I like it. The Harvard QB, Jaden Craig, going over to TCU, filling the hole there. That should be interesting. And the last guy we got here in our top QBs list, Aiden Childs, going from Michigan State to Northwestern. With only 1 year remaining on his deal. Oh man, I'm not really too sure. This Michigan State surely had a really good young quarterback to develop on because Jonathan Smith and his entire coaching staff left from Oregon State in his rookie season or freshman season, in 2023. And they just failed at the rebuild. Michigan State failed at the rebuild. This is what happened. And I don't really know what this transfer is to Northwestern. They were a little bit better than everybody thought this year, but I mean, there's going to be some insane Big Ten opponents. 3-11 record that he has as well against the Big 12. He had such a promising year at Oregon State as a freshman. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's Northwestern in the end of the day. It's historically is one of the worst offenses in college football history. So definitely not a place to go if my boy Aiden Childs wants to end up getting a draft nod one of these days. But we'll see what happens as this time goes on. Let's look at we're just going to look at some of the top players that have bounced around in the transfer portal right now, because one of our biggest hits from Auburn, they just picked up a new QB, but down goes their wide receiver, Cam Coleman, the number 5 overall player, number 5 overall or 5-star recruit in the nation going into the 2024 season, will be headed to play with Arch Manning in Texas in 2026. Man, I'm hyped. This guy's undoubtedly is one of the most talented receivers in this group right now in college football. His first 2 seasons in the SEC, 93 catches, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Just 2 years. Man, led the Auburn Tigers in receiving for his first 2 seasons there. I mean, had a 10-catch, 143-yard game against Vanderbilt, if you saw that game this year. That he certainly had a great season. If Archie Manning stays, then you've got yourself a pretty solid squad over there. Are you heading out, Lucas? Okay. All right. You're all good. You're all good. I thought I heard something out there. I thought it was just the old guys who in the Fish Electric. Shout out Fish. Oh, it's window cleaning. Shout out Fish window cleaning. But let's move on from our boy Cam Coleman. Let's see who else we got here. Transferring from Colorado, one of the best offensive tackles, was literally the only good offensive lineman that Colorado had last season, and it's Jordan Seaton. He's entering the transfer portal, not had any commits yet, so he could potentially stay with us, but former 5-star. It was a huge victory for Dion, dude. That was a huge recruiting win for him. That was one of our highest rated signs in our program's history. He is the number 1 tackle in 2024 in the nation and the ESPN 300 list. So he lived up to the expectation too. He was so good for us. Second team all Big 12 honors as a sophomore last year. Surrendered only 3 pressures, 0 sacks in pass protections. And the offensive line for Colorado, newsflash, it's terrible. This guy's the only one blocking out there, and we're going to let him leave. This is unfortunate because for his size, he's 6'5", 330. He's got some really good range and mobility. A really aggressive run blocker. He's got quickness too. He's a little bit smaller in stature, so when he gets to that second level at the linebackers, he's already at speed. He's got some really good athleticism. But speed too. Got good footwork. So when he gets in his own block in those pass plays, electric. That guy's nasty. Colorado just lost a big one. Hopefully, whoever signs Jordan Seaton, you got 2 years of making a guy that could be the next Kelvin Banks Jr. Keep your eyes out for him. Jordan Seaton, you're coming out in the future. Jacarius Peak, about 1 year. This guy, he's one of the most experienced offensive tackles. I mean, 33 games as a starter. He's definitely coming from those classes that happened towards the beginning and the end of the COVID, where everybody kind of got the 1 extra year of eligibility if you were in school during that time in college. But I mean, this is going to be good for him going into South Carolina. They've got a young quarterback they're trying to rebuild around and keep healthy this upcoming season. So getting a good offensive lineman like Peak, I think, is going to help him out a lot. Only 4 sacks allowed and had over 1,000 snaps in pass protection in his career at NC State. So it's going to be a big help to that O-line and old Lenoris Sellers. This guy's going to be pretty good too. Let's see some other big names that we're really looking out for. Ooh, the hometown kid, the 4-star native, 172 overall rated ESPN 300 list. The sophomore Coy Parrish going into his junior year. He's got 2 seasons left. Will be transferring to Oregon. This guy is one of the best safeties in the country right now, and was he's on an underrated Minnesota team. They're a lot better than people expected. Got some pretty dope uniforms and helmets too. They're a pretty sick team, but was a 3-way player for them. Was a kick returner and played some snaps at receiver for the team. Had 617 yards in the season as a kickoff and punt returner. So, this guy, Dan Lanning, couldn't get really, really creative. So I'm actually really excited to see what happens with this now. That's going to be really fun for them because they got some guy that can play special teams, got him out there at receiver, and on the defensive end, he can play safety. I mean, he's a really dynamic athlete. So his production on the defensive end, though, is by far where he does shine, though. Literally one of the Big Ten's best young safeties right now. The only person I can really compare right now is Purdue. They've got Dylan Thieneman. He's one of those guys right now as well. But, anyone got a team that they are thinking about, they want me to check the transfer portal for? Ooh, this one's actually very interesting. Nick Marsh, wide receiver 1, the sophomore with 2 years remaining. Josh Hoover just got himself a weapon. Nick Marsh from Michigan State. Man, I did not even hear about this one. 100 passes, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns in his 2 years in Michigan State. He had a pretty solid year last year. Back-to-back leading the team in receiving yards. Man, first game in the Big Ten. 194 receiving yards against Maryland. He's got some really insane speed. So the Kurt Signetti is just reloading. They got a nice speedster and a really solid arm with Josh Hoover. So that's going to be a connection that everybody needs to look out for. Indiana, I might have to change my pick for the national championship because Kurt Signetti is just a recruiting mastermind, a coaching mastermind. I mean, the guy does everything. Because he seriously has been getting everything done for this Indiana team and has only been there for 3 seasons. Mind you, only losing like 4 or 5 games in his entire coaching career in college football was the reason that James Madison is even noticed right now and in the FBS and had a chance to make the college football playoffs this year was because of Kurt Signetti. So I really might have to change my answer. It might have just been purely disrespectful to pick Miami over Indiana right now because just those 2 players alone trying to really seals the deal that they could possibly be undefeated for 1 more season in a row. They got to win this next game coming up. But still, I can't wait. Drop your predictions in the comments, though. Who do you got winning the college football playoffs? That 12-team madness is about to conclude on the 19th at 3:30. It looks like it'll be a little midday game. That should be pretty fun. And it is in Miami, Florida. Oh boy, it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for it. But I'm gonna take a quick break, everyone. Get some water, and when we come back, we got to cover this Wildcard Weekend over in the NFL. And there's a bit of a coaching carousel. 8 teams and potentially more have a head coaching vacancy in the NFL. I'm so glad that the Saints hired Kellen Moore and they got rid of Dennis Allen right then, because if we were in this coaching situation right now, it would be such a difficult scenario for us to land a coach. But when we come back, we've got Wildcard Weekend and our coaching carousel in the NFL. This is Caveman on Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio, and we will be right back.
He sits on his bed with his gun in his hand. He thinks his life is over, he can't understand. A bottle of whiskey and some pills in the drawer. He doesn't wanna hurt himself or hurt anymore. Why must it be this way? Just think it all over and listen to the words I say. beat this together today. You're not alone. She picks up the clothes that fall loose on the floor. She finds a crumpled letter just behind the door, begins to read it with tears in her eyes. A horrible feeling takes over inside. Says, honey, can I talk to you? There has to be something that we can do. Demons each day, 'cause you are not alone. So take my hand, baby, let's beat this together today. You're not alone. Not alone. 'Cause you are not alone. There are millions of people who fight with their demons each day. Yeah. And you let's beat this together today. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Sits on his bed with his gun in his hand. He puts it away, 'cause now he understands.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. Caveman back in the house, and let's get to NFL Wildcard Weekend. Let's get into it. Let's just go straight up to the scores. Let me give you guys a rundown. Started off on Saturday. It kind of looked like it was all out. 17-3 just before halftime in your open, or 17-7 in your opening game there with the Rams and the Panthers. At halftime, you thought it was all said and done. Panthers rallied, made a huge comeback in the fourth quarter, and this was a tense one, but 2:38 left in the fourth quarter for Matthew Stafford was not enough. Was just enough. Excuse me. The defense of the Carolina Panthers did not have enough to handle old Matthew Stafford, man. And hosting Carolina Panthers were knocked out of the first round, 34-31. The Green Bay Packers made it look like a game with a huge lead. 21-3 at halftime. The Bears looked defeated. Caleb Williams was throwing interceptions, incredibly inaccurate. And the Bears rallied back with a 25-point fourth quarter and get the 31-27 win over the Green Bay Packers. And wow, once we get to that game, I mean, it's gonna be an incredible game to talk about. It's gonna be a fun one. Sunday kicked it off. Bills Jaguars was one heck of a game. Jaguars did not come out with the victory. Josh Allen was kind of enough to be everyone today in this one. 14 points in the fourth quarter for each team. I mean, it was neck and neck for the entirety of it. 10-3 at halftime. What a game we saw there in Jacksonville. Jaguars, man, I don't know. I mean, Trevor Lawrence had such a good end of the season, a good second half of the year that, like, what do you really do? I think moving forward, you got your guy, you got your coach, Parker Washington's emerging, Jacoby Myers emerging, and when it's all said and done, Travis Hunter is still chilling in your guys' back pocket for next season when he gets healthy. So I feel like they have a lot to look forward to with this group now. Then go out the win. Bills take it 27-24, and they're moving on. Coming to Denver this week to play those Broncos. 49ers came into Philly, and despite 2 turnovers from Brock Purdy, the Eagles offense was just absolutely stagnant. They were having Devontae Smith out there just having a regular old day like Khalil Shakir would have. It's one of the best deep ball threats in the NFL. And I feel like they only try to utilize the deep threat and the deep shot, the Eagles in this game, when it was already too late. And it was already pretty obvious what you're going to do. And Jalen Hurts was already staring exactly where he wanted through the ball. You know, everyone knew what was going to happen. Coming out in those very simple, static 2x2 formations and running 4 verticals straight into cover 4, where your quarterback is staring directly down the lane of the only open pass that's going to be available on that play, because they had no in breakers, no basics, no out routes at all. They had no crosser to create a high-low read, nothing in the flat, because the running back was back blocking. So they had absolutely nothing else but 4 verticals into cover 4, and Jalen Hurts was just staring directly into the hole and just delivered the ball into 4 people. I'd much rather throw that out on the sideline and give your guy a chance to catch the ball. Give your guy a one-on-one chance on that quarters corner instead of just straight down the middle of the field on the 4 receivers. I mean, there's a lot more that can be said about that. But 49ers get the win, 13 points in the fourth quarter, take out the Eagles 23-19. Yeah, that's pretty crazy how this team that is pretty much getting injured because of a low frequency of electromagnetic field. And I gotta pull up that post, because there's some crazy stats about that it's actually scientifically proven that if you are near one of those low frequency fields, it does damage to your ligaments, and it does damage to your collagen in your body, and it can make you get hurt easier. It could be a serious case, because the 49ers practice facility sits right next to an electricity compound. Right next to it. They practice right next to one. We really do we could potentially have an investigation on our hands, but it does kind of just sound like a conspiracy. Get your team on a better diet, hire a better health team. Next game, Sunday Night Football. What's going on, man, with the Chargers offensive line? All season long, it's literally 2.2 seconds after the snap. It's like Justin Herbert's getting jump scared on a horror video game, is how quickly he gets sacked. Patriots dominate this one. Their defense was all over. Chargers' only offense really was just a few short scrambles with Justin Herbert that were just all far too late, and they were nearly shut out. They're lucky they got one of the best kickers in the league, and they were able to get into some good range. But Patriots are going to be advancing, get the dub over the Chargers 16-3 in the wild card. And the next game was last night. This one was another dominant defensive performance Houston nearly shuts out the Steelers at home. I mean, for the fans of the Steelers, though, are you really happy with this season? A lot of the people at the game were not chanting for Aaron Rodgers to retire. Which, I mean, if anything, that's not your issue. If anything, you want Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers to stick around as long as possible and help you develop another young quarterback that you can actually keep, a guy that they want to stick around for the future. I think now you kind of have something more to work on. It's a lot different team. The defense was able to find some success later in the year when they changed some people's positions around. I mean, it's not like they were making the wrong coaching choices all year. I feel like this in the end of the grand scheme of things, you do want to win the Super Bowl, and this one from the Steelers got a nightmare matchup and take the L. It's 30-6 final score at home. Houston goes in to Pittsburgh and just takes down the steel curtain. But let's head into our first game, dude, because the NFC South, a lot of these teams have a good future. I think looking forward, you might be able to build up off Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. I think you got a solid backfield there. Jalen Coker, one of the highest targeted receivers on first down all year long. He's emerged. Had a great game in this one. 9 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown. On that 52-yard touchdown reception, I mean, Bryce Young had a slow start in this one. It was a shaky start, but those late touchdowns in the second quarter just brought this team back to life, and that's kind of all they needed, especially at home. They're one of the best teams at home this year, only losing to Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Saints at home. So some of the best teams in the NFL was the only teams that were able to top them. Obviously, the New Orleans Saints, you know who I'm talking about. Tyler Shuck. But I think you got a solid group to work with on your offense. Your receiver core is pretty solid. Tedero McMillan. I think this guy's probably going to win Rookie of the Year if they don't give it to my boy Tyler Shuck. But if anyone's more deserving, 1,000-yard season as a rookie for your very own Carolina Panthers, got the playoff appearance. I mean, if McMillan wins Rookie of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm okay with that. They got some really good guys on their defense up in the middle. That's where they create the most pressure, really. They have some really athletic interior defensive linemen. Tershawn Wharton, nasty. Ashawn Robinson, DJ Wanham, Derek Brown. Their pass rush is really underrated, and it's those interior guys, so it really muddies up the run game. And it didn't seem like the Rams were really even able to get that going. Only 116 yards for the Rams in this game. So, I mean, shout out to the Panthers for putting up a good fight, only losing by 3 at home. It's just in the end of the day, you gave a veteran quarterback a little bit too much time on the clock to win this game. He came and marched down the field. It didn't really matter if he was at home or if he was away. Matthew Stafford just kind of picked apart this defense on the final drive, and with a beautifully placed back shoulder pass to Colby Parkinson in the corner, little front corner of the end zone, gets the game-winning touchdown with 41 seconds left. So, even time to spare for the Panthers to get the ball back and even try to do something. I mean, that's just how quickly Matthew Stafford and this offense got it done. Let's kick it over and take a look at them, though. It's like I was saying, 24-42, 304, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, that stat line right there just kind of shows me that Carolina's defense was really playing spirited, and that's the group that really brought the energy and the momentum into this game for the Panthers to make their comeback because they eliminated the run game. Kyron Williams only had 57 yards on 13 carries, and 11 carries for Corum, your other back, with only 45 yards, and Puka Nacua getting your only rushing touchdown, a little end around play that he typically gets on a little touch pass. So your duo in the backfield that had been looking red hot for the Los Angeles Rams for the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season was just eliminated, just completely put out by the Carolina Panthers. Nobody really could cover Puka Nacua, though. 10 catches, 111 yards, a touchdown, and was pretty much just unstoppable. Devontae Adams even had a little comeback in this one. 5 catches for 72 yards, the average of 14. So, this Carolina Panthers zone was one of their strong suits in this game and in this season in general with guys like J.C. Horn on your team, one of the best corners in the NFL right now. Just not with the best group. Kind of got picked apart by Matthew Stafford. It was really a nightmare matchup. This is kind of like Steelers and Texans. Panthers kind of hosted one of the toughest teams in the NFC to play. This team could have been a 1 seed. The LA Rams are 12-5 and they're playing an away game in the playoffs. That's just, you're kind of setting the team up to fail there. But Carolina put up a good fight. This game was pretty awesome too. We had some highlight moments, and the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints, I think, are going to be your teams to look out for. And there could be a bright side for the Atlanta Falcons hiring Matt Ryan as your president of football. That could be a potential for something. We'll see what happens there. But the Saints are obviously going to win the NFC South next year, and dome field advantage is going to be way better than whatever they got going. And hitting that drum, people in the top row stands can't even hear it when you're beating on that drum. So pound all you want. Packers and Bears. This game was, honestly, I might have to go over to this game last. For all the people that wrote off Caleb, we're gonna save one of the best games for the end. We're gonna go on to the Bills and Jaguars games in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, not as honestly had a pretty decent game. It's just those 2 interceptions later on in the game that really came to bite this team. It was a thriller, though. The game-sealing pick there on what could have been a game-winning drive from the Jaguars. And it's just going to be tough, man. Can Josh Allen really carry this team to an AFC Championship or the Super Bowl? Can he be all 11 players in this game? Because we know he can get it done. We know he's going to be one of the best players. He's one of the best postseason players on the road as well. Usually always ends up being on the road in the playoffs other than that first round wild card because they typically win the division. But is he going to be able to do this for the rest of the playoffs? 273 passing yards. It was absolutely just fooling the Jaguars defense, finding the matchup he likes. That first touchdown pass that he threw to Dawson Knox was just a beauty. They faked the screen and he baited out the entire secondary. And that was a perfect dime throw, layered in between a safety, corner, and a linebacker, all in one area. Gets it to Dawson Knox right near the pylon, and he walks it in for a go-ahead score in the second quarter. Going into the fourth quarter as well, after the ETN touchdown, I kind of thought that this Jaguars defense was going to lock it in because you had no running game going for 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 Buffalo. They weren't really able to get a lot of offense going unless it came from Josh Allen. It They just couldn't stop the guy. I mean, it was two back-to-back tush push plays where one of them went for literally 9 yards. I mean, that was like some 2024 Eagles tush pushes right there. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what you can absolutely do to stop that. I mean, they went for it on a 4th and inches with the tush push. Deion Dawkins picked up Josh Allen and walked with him for about 10 yards and got him down to the 1. And I mean, you might as well just keep running up the gut at that point, right? Absolute thriller, though. The 2 interceptions from T-Law, man. I mean, that is what really put him out of this game. They weren't really able to maintain the lead that they had after scoring with that first possession, the opening drive, because they turned the ball over, gave the ball right back to the Bills, and they made it a game. Those little mental mistakes. They won in the turnover battle, had more total yards on the ground, nearly outgained them in almost every statistical category. Were a higher percentage on third down. We're just getting down the field cleanly. They didn't need a whole lot of long possessions, which Josh Allen, if your defense is letting him play at his pace, and him and McDermott are just cooking up and reading your defense all day while they're just out on the field hanging out. And they really don't even need Josh Allen or James Cook to have that crazy of a game. 15 carries, 46 yards, average of 3. I mean, it broke the streak for his 100 yards in a row streak. But I think the game plan should have been for the Jacksonville Jaguars to kind of let James Cook beat you. Try as hard as you can to get after Josh Allen. He was only sacked 1 time. And I know he's one of the hardest guys to tackle in the league, but you were only able to get 3 QB hits, so not too much pressure on him. Both quarterbacks really kind of had all day. Just a late pick. Just a little bit tough on the placement there from T-Law, and right off the chest of the first defender and tipped right over his receiver's head. And with only 50 seconds left, you might as well just call it there, because Buffalo was able to, have their way on the ground with Josh Allen, really on any play call. How does everyone in the comments, though, feel about what happened with that reporter after the game? A bunch of people were talking smack because she told Liam Cohen that he had a good year and that he had a great season coaching the guys. I really don't understand that. A lot of people are saying that's not true reporting because she didn't actually ask him a question. It's like, yeah, he did lose a playoff game, but he's a first-year head coach. He just came from being an offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. First-year head coach, got a completely new squad, a quarterback that has not really had the success that they've been looking for in the postseason and the regular season. They found something that's working now. They have a lot of good players on the team that are going to be moving forward with them. And the media just wants to ask questions about why they lost and get into the nitty-gritty of how the schematic standpoints, and you're going to break down a team and their blueprint just 5 minutes after a game ends, when there's still a lot of emotion and passion into it. That's why a lot of these guys are walking out of the interviews and only answering one word. You're going to ask them a question like that, 5 minutes after the game. I feel like the post-game press conference just needs to be eliminated in general, and we should have like just the Monday pressers for the teams that play on Sunday. And if you play on Monday, you get a Tuesday presser. Gives teams a chance to look over everything, take all the emotion and all the passion out of it, and just break it down from a standpoint of wanting to improve if they lost. You know, go and interview the winning team right after they win. They won. That's the one team that everyone cares about. It doesn't even make any sense. Because that lady has been a Jacksonville reporter for like 25 years, been covering plenty of athletes, interviewed plenty of athletes post game, Tiger Woods even. I mean, that lady, she's a news legend, editor in Jacksonville for plenty of newspapers over the last 25 years. I don't want to hear it. You're complaining about a whole bunch of nothing. You don't even know the lady. Acting like she's not a professional because she told someone they did a good job. That's just silly. Bills eventually end up taking the win. It's 27-24. Move on to Denver. I don't know if Josh Allen's going to be able to be that entire team, man. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I kind of want to see. I don't want to see him get the upset, Mile High. You know, but at the end of the day, I feel like the Broncos are getting a lot of hate right now as the 1 seed. But we'll make our predictions at the end of the show. We'll save them. Because we still got a few more games to go over. 2 more from Sunday, the Monday game, and then that very amazing Saturday night football with the Bears and the Packers. I wish Jimmy was in here. He was live streaming himself watching the game. I should have went in there and checked up on him because I watched in the first half when it's 21-7 or 21-3 going into halftime, looking real happy, and then cardiac Bears. It's an insane show. The 49ers, though, get the dub going into Philly against one of the most one-dimensional offenses in the NFL right now, and that's the Eagles. There is no creativity in this. It is rough. Saquon got 100 yards in this game, but no rushing touchdowns. Only able to get 1 on the ground from Dallas Goedert and 1 receiving. He had himself a day. You know, feel like some crossing routes, some in-breaking routes with that guy where he could get some leverage and use his speed against the linebacker. They did it a couple times on short yardage situations on like 3rd, sometimes 4th down. I feel like that's kind of a look they would go for, but I don't know. It's kind of the only time they really chose to do that as well. Same with Devontae Smith. Like I was saying, one of the best deep threats in the NFL, and he kind of had a day of just running routes like Khalil Shakir, where just, get the ball to a playmaker and let him make a play. How are you going to win a playoff game with really simple play calling when you got top receivers and top running back and supposedly your top 10 offense? Supposedly. But you only get 168 yards out of Jalen Hurts, only 14 yards on the ground from him. Offensive line protected him pretty well, and he just wasn't really able to get it much going through the air. That was too creative. I can't blame it fully on him after that drop from A.J. Brown on literally a 3rd and 5 on your game-winning drive, driving down the field, and your number 1 receiver drops a wide-open catch going across the middle of the field with no defenders near him. The catch-and-run situation, and it hits right in the hands. You can't really blame this fully on the play calling and the quarterback in Philly. I think Jalen Hurts is a lot better than people say. People saying that Jawan Jennings touchdown pass was more impressive than anything Jalen Hurts had thrown all year. I think that's a little crazy talk, but in the end of the day, there's a lot of different things that went wrong for this team. Their defense gave them 2 turnovers as well. And let me check the play-by-play here because I'm pretty sure the Eagles punted after both interceptions. They got a punt and a field goal out of both interceptions, so they really left some points hanging on the board in this one. You end the game on a 10-play drive, 44 yards, and it's a turnover on downs. I mean, you really needed the touchdown after that pick. It's late in the fourth quarter. You took 3 minutes off the clock, the 8-play drive, and you can only kick a field goal. And in your home stadium, Brock Purdy, after just throwing 2 picks in this game, just walks down your home field with literally no help from the run game and gets a game-winning touchdown. You're getting beat by Demarcus Robinson, man. That was just rough. And Quinyon Mitchell, he made up for it. He made up for it by getting his picks in this game, but that's only because he was getting bullied and getting targeted by Kyle Shanahan. They found the guy that was constantly getting beat all game, and they just attacked him. It just so happened to be those 2 times that he did get a pick was when he made the right play on the ball. It was really just Purdy throwing the ball with anticipation. He made a good play on it. But he was really getting attacked all game long by Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. You lost another player you lost another pass catcher who only got 1 catch for 6 yards. George Kittle's down again. Really only you got Jawan Jennings. Juice Check made a solid freaking effort in this game. 4 catches for 49 yards, and those were 49 big yards. I feel like he got the ball in some of the biggest moments in this game. I think overall, man, the will. There's just no fear. They don't want to give up at all. There's no quit in the Niners this season. There's no quit. Only 1 penalty in this game, and it was that egregious late call for unnecessary roughness on the quarterback. You know, it's just that silly rule in the NFL where when the second that the quarterback initiates that slide, the second they're in the, looking like they're going to lean back and slide, you can't touch the guy anymore, even if they're not even anywhere near the ground or anywhere close to where they could slide. You just can't touch them. It's silly. It makes it super convoluted because things like that happen. But unfortunately for the Eagles, it did not help them get the dub in this game. Niners are moving on 23-19. Now let's head over to Sunday Night Football, where the Patriots defense has looked the best that it has all year long, other than that game against the Jets last week. But you played a top opponent. They might not have had the best offensive line. You got 6 sacks. You had 6 tackles for loss, 11 QB hits. I mean, they were in the backfield and pretty much in the huddle all day long. They knew exactly what was coming. And it was against one of the best teams and one of the best quarterbacks in your conference. I mean, this was a really good game from your defense. There's nothing more that you could hope for from your defense coming into this side of the year, because they lost a game earlier in the year to the Raiders. And they allowed 20 points to the Raiders. The Dolphins week 2 had 27 on them. Their defense locked it in towards the end of the year. 10 points allowed in the last 3 weeks of the year. They've been playing really well. Hosting the Chargers next. But let's take a look at the rest of this game. I'm not really too sure what Greg Roman is calling. I understand that their offensive line isn't that great. But, dude, they're getting absolutely killed. Like, your quarterback is playing with a broken arm, and they hit him 11 times, get 6 sacks, and they were just in the backfield all day. That doesn't count for the tackle for losses on his multiple rushing attempts. I mean, this was just a field day for Milton Williams and everybody up the middle. Christian Barmore all day long. Elijah Ponder. getting in there. Corey Durden getting in there too. I mean, everybody's in the backfield. It was a real rough day. It's hard to get really any running game going too when Amari and Hampton for the whole entire season has been dealing with an ankle injury. And when you are getting anything going on the run, an average of 2 yards. They got a couple good plays here and there, but nothing really opened the door for them to get that much of a good drive going on. Just so many punts. Times where it felt like Greg Roman wanted to punt the football away, and like second down situations where you feel like you can get some of those yards back and make it third down and manageable. Runs a play where route tree is everybody's on a 4-yard hitch. I mean, you want to get the ball out quick because the offensive line is so bad. Well, you still can't call that for the entire game when you're in those situations. Like, that's the only thing that they really wanted to turn to. And it's unfortunate that they shied away from it because the DBs on New England are way too good for Herbert. Even if he has to get the ball out quick, they have good man coverage. They've been one of the best against man. They've been one of the best in man coverage all year long. Their guys, Carlton Davis, really good veteran leader, and he locked it up and locked it down for him in this game. Got some real good young guys too, Christian Gonzalez. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the rest of this postseason coming for the New England Patriots. We'll see what happens with the Texans, though, because it might be another game that's just straight up only defense being played and some real playoff football. That's what you love to see. Patriots get the dub. This one not as exciting of a game because it didn't really look like the Chargers wanted to win all that much. Patriots get the win 16-3 and move on. Going to play them, though, is your 12-5 Houston Texans. Made a really solid run this year. AFC South was looking really good. And if the Colts did not have that injury with Daniel Jones, who knows what this playoff bracket could look like for the AFC right now. But the Steelers, man, their defense was absolutely insane. Bunch of turnovers and a bunch of sloppy possessions from both teams early in this game. But no one was really able to stop this pass rush, man. 12 QB hits on poor Aaron Rodgers, dude. He can't move like that in the pocket. What do you expect him to do? 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 4 pass deflections. I mean, they were all over the field on defense. Aaron Rodgers was 17 of 33. Didn't even get more than 200 yards. No touchdowns, 1 interception. A QBR of 14.5. One of his worst games in his career for Aaron Rodgers against this defense. I mean, this has got to be the truth here that this is one of the best defenses of all time because they get all types of turnovers. They can punch the ball out. Their DBs are fast enough to get pick sixes, 50 yards down the field, jump routes. I mean, they're all over. And the Texans, man, cleaned it up in the second half. CJ Stroud was 21 of 32, 250 yards. Touchdown. The early interception shook it off and moved on. Woody Marks, the young running back that they got, could be making a name for himself because you didn't see any Joe Mixon this year, and Nick Chubb is coming off a really, really gruesome injury. So, I mean, you're going to see limited snaps from him, even though he is kind of a volume guy. I mean, the more he gets the ball, I think that guy's going to get it churning. We saw that with the Browns. My main reason also that he was getting injured out there too. So, and Christian Kirk, dude, we might not see Tank Dell play again, unfortunately. And Christian Kirk and Jaden Higgins, 2 young guys as well as Xavier Hutchinson, been making a solid name for themselves this year. Nico Collins, though, he was extremely bracketed. Only 3 catches. 7 of his targets were deflected or incomplete because, man, he was just pretty much in double coverage all day with Kyle Duggar, Jalen Ramsey. He's going to get over top. Joey Porter is going to be over top there. Also got Asante Samuel Jr. I mean, everybody in that defense was just kind of hounding Nico Collins, and it worked out to the Houston Texans' advantage because Woody Marks got going. He was just killing them. Once you win the time of possession battle in a game like this and you win it on the ground, it's all over from there. 32 minutes of possession time. You know, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, they didn't do as bad as the other teams have been at holding on to the ball. The thing was, they had these long, sustained drives that they couldn't really get points out of. And that ended up just coming to a stifling halt by the Texans defense. And the one pick that they did end up getting was on a flea flicker in the very final moments of the first quarter of this game with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. CJ Stroud was getting sacked by 3 guys while he's trying to throw the ball, and the 4th defensive lineman just so happened to be in the general area to fall with it right in his hands. So I don't even really blame that one on him. Kind of just an unfortunate play. But play of the night for all the Wildcard Weekend goes to Sheldon Rankins for that strip sack that he took to the crib. That was Chase Young on another level. Dude took that from nearly the 50-yard line and took it to the crib, man. He's a big dude, too, running that far. Nobody even caught up to him. But what a game, though, man. Your Texans come out with the victory. They're headed to Foxborough next week to play the Patriots. They get the dub 30-6. And we've got our final game. The rivalry. The Green Bay Packers. The Chicago Bears. Historic rivalry for years and years. This time it's new, it's modern. It's Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams. It's Josh Jacobs versus DeAndre Swift. It's Romeo Doubs versus DJ Moore. It's a different look out there. It is very unfortunate that the Packers season was down in the injury bug, because I feel like this game would have been a lot different, especially with the first half that was played by Chicago. If you got a healthy Packers team, I feel like the lead that they had, the final score probably would have just been 27-3, maybe even 27-6. I don't know if that 25-point fourth quarter happens. If you got a fully healthy Packers team out there, that's gonna get the job done. But the run that they went on, man, I have never seen a team come back down from 18 points in just one quarter like that in an NFL playoff game. My very own eyes. It's been a very long time since we've seen something that crazy. And it's all really from Caleb Williams. It's all really from Caleb Williams in this game. Him alone and his energy throughout the entire game is what rallied the Bears to this comeback. He was getting upset with drops, miscommunications, incomplete passes. He was not happy. This was a game that I feel like the Bears should have been the favorite in. And it was they all kind of had a chip on their shoulder going into this week, man, because you just beat them. You just beat them, got their number this year, first matchup, and now score 25 points in the fourth quarter to pull off a comeback. You had a slow start, but come on. That final touchdown in his debut, in his playoff debut, Caleb Williams with a 25-yard touchdown pass to walk off and get it the go-ahead score with a minute and 40 remaining on the clock. listen. This team probably has the most heart in the playoffs right now, other than the 49ers. The Bears are definitely a team to watch out for the rest of the season in the NFC. I don't even care. They won their division. They're gonna be hosting next week. Right? I believe so. Yep, they'll be hosting the Rams this weekend. So, I mean, you really have it all there. The recipe for success: 6-2 at home. Other than Carolina, the Bears are one of the best teams at home this year. Soldier Field, the old dilapidated building that we call a stadium, is housing these Bears, man. True belief. You just got to do it. That's what Caleb Williams says. Belief, that's all you need. You got belief in the coaches that they're going to call the right play at the right time. Hey, man, I mean, you're right. It's just a tale of two halves. Jordan Love, 3 touchdown passes in the first half. The offense was absolutely chugging along, and they hit a dead stop. Halted it. It wasn't until that very end of the game where Caleb Williams connected with Moore. It was their first lead since it was 3-0. Jordan Love was able to lead Green Bay into Chicago territory, but on third down at the 28-yard line, dropped the snap, scrambled, and just heaved it into the end zone with no avail. Jaquan Brisker deflected the ball, big defensive lineman, and what a celebration they had. Like, I'm really surprised, though, that the Packers even choked this game. Like, how? It wasn't like there was really any penalties that late in the game. Any of them, just the small penalties of shooting yourself in the foot. There wasn't any tic-tac calls. It was all mental mistakes and mental lapses. And it's like, what even happened? You had 2 turnovers to none. You outgained them on the ground. Through the air until the fourth quarter, you outgained them. It's really nothing to stop Colson Loveland either. Third down at inefficiency is where it came down to it. 6 for 15. When they had to go for it on fourth down, they recovered and got it, but it was just a rough second half for these Packers. 24 of 46 for Jordan Love. 323 and 4 touchdowns, but at what cost? Really, you got the go-ahead score in the fourth quarter, and that was your only points of the game. Led to back-to-back Brandon McManus misses. 4 points hanging on the board there in the game for the Green Bay Packers, and that is exactly how many points they lost by. This game really should have been in overtime, if you think about it. Brandon McManus is going to be the one that loses his job, though. Matt LaFleur, has been confirmed that he is going to be the head coach there. And I kind of like that this rivalry between coaches is building up too, with Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur, because both these dudes are hype when they get dubs, and they definitely big league other coaches when they head over and shake their hand at the end of the game. So I really like what these two got going on. It's definitely become a bitter rivalry. Dude, next year, the Packers and the Bears are healthy, and the Lions and the Vikings have their quarterback situations figured out over there in Minnesota. And NFC North can be right back to where they were just 2 years ago, just 2 seasons ago. Now, as we get to the end of this one. But let's look at our matchups in the rest of the bracket. And I'll give everybody a quick prediction for the divisional round. And that's going to be our show for today. Oh, actually, we got to hit up our coaching carousel. See which teams are going to be heading and looking for a new head coach. I'll let you guys know which 8 teams. Bills and Broncos, though. Denver favorited by 1.5 points in this one. I don't know if Josh Allen can be the entire team, but, you know, he was last year. He really was last year against this Broncos team. This is probably the only game that I'm going to pull for the upset on, where I think there is really that big of an upset. Going with the Bills. Going with Buffalo here. Now we've got Patriots and Texans. New England favored by 3. Who's going to head to your AFC Championship? You know, I'm going with the Texans, dude. I know that they didn't have the best start offensively, and they're going to be playing against a much better defense. Steelers aren't any slouch on that side of the football at all. I think you got 2 really good teams that are matching up together. Texans just have the better defense. I think Drake May is going to run into a wall here. We'll see if Stephon Diggs steps up for them. But I'm going with the Texans. I wouldn't even consider that an upset, though. They got the same record. Now we got Seahawks, Niners. Oh, man. Seattle's been off for a while. The Niners have been on a red-hot streak to end the season. I might regret this, but I'm going with the Seahawks right now. Going with the Seahawks. That'll be my pick for this week. And Bears are hosting the Rams. Alrighty. I think that they might be running into their veteran presence that knocks them out of the playoffs here. With Matthew Stafford playing at such a high level, I don't think they're really going to allow a comeback to happen. If that's what it comes down to in the fourth quarter. I don't think Matthew Stafford, they develop a lead that big, they're not going to let it slip. They're not going to let that thing slip like the Packers did and lose a 3-score lead, you know? But yeah, it looks like Mike McDaniel is going to be looking to get an extension with the Green Bay Packers. Probably Mike Tomlin going to stay as well. Don't really mind that. Right now, Dolphins fired Mike McDaniel, so they're looking for a new coach. Recently hired Packers Vice President of Player Personnel as their new GM, though, John Eric Sullivan. So that could be potential. Build a new future over there. No more head coach, no more GM. You got a whole new unit over there. Let's see if they even stick around with Quinn Ewers. McDaniel's firing was 2 days after John Harbaugh got fired, so it wasn't really that big of a shock to everybody. But man, Baltimore Ravens probably going to be the most attractive job here. Probably going to be the hardest one to get. Matt Eberflus was fired from Dallas on Tuesday. Hopefully none of these teams hire him. Matt Eberflus does kind of sound like a Browns kind of hire, though. We'll see what happens. Staying in the NFC East, Commanders moved on from Joe Witt Jr., defensive coordinator, and moved on from Cliff Kingsbury as well. That's interesting because both those guys coming in with Dan Quinn, why not just have them around for longer, just one more year maybe to see what's going on? But man, with a lot of teams moving on from their head coach, Pete Carroll was fired after 1 year. John Harbaugh fired. Jonathan Gannon fired. Kevin Stefanski's gone. Raheem Morris gone. New York Giants. Brian Daboll's gone. Brian Callahan's gone. I hope the Titans end up with the best coach here. Maybe the Titans land on John Harbaugh. I don't think that would be too bad. They could get a good running game. They've already got a pretty solid backfield over there. That might not be too bad of an idea. But I am so glad that the New Orleans Saints fired their coach, Dennis Allen, and got Kellen Moore after the Eagles Super Bowl, because if we were trying to find a coach in this carousel right now, I feel like there's a lot of teams that have a pretty good future. I feel like the Dolphins' job seems pretty attractive. The Ravens' job seems pretty attractive. They got a lot to work with. But there is 8 teams looking for a new head coach. Raiders, Browns, all those. And I mean, they're all rebuilding too. So it's a new head coach, new chance to come in there and get the job done. Well, with that being said, I'll be back tomorrow, everybody. We'll be doing a regular scheduled program. Peyton Watson, Denver Nuggets, became Western Conference Player of the Week, averaging about 25 points per game in this last 5 days and last 5 games. So he's been killing it. We're missing a lot of stars over here on the Nuggets, and we need as much help as we can get. I'm really happy that he's on the squad right now. He's been killing it for us. But we'll be back next week. Next Wednesday, tomorrow, and we'll be getting it for the regular scheduled sports show. Let's stay with us, everybody. And this is Caveman signing off on Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness, one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.